Hi, I'm Ed Muzio, author of Make Work Great, and I'm going to tell you how to give advice the right way. Sooner or later, someone in the workplace is going to come to you asking for advice. Now, I'm not talking about requests for information, like where's the bathroom, or requests for feedback, like please look this presentation over for me. These are both valid forms of advice, but they're also pretty easy for you to deal with. I'm talking about something much more difficult, when someone comes to you with a complex situation that they don't know how to handle. Let's say, for example, I work for you. I come in your office one day and I say, boss, I gotta tell you, I have an employee who works for me and he's driving me crazy. Every week, he owes me a weekly report, and every week it's late. No matter what I do, he's late every week. What you say to me next will influence not only what I do next, but also your own reputation in the organization. So it's in your best interest to give advice the right way. I like a 4-step model that starts with the situation. To begin with, step 1, your job is to figure out what is going on. Now at this stage, all you're trying to do is find information. You're going to pretend that you're going to shoot a movie about the situation, like a documentary, and you're going to seek information for your movie. So you're going to ask me questions like, how long has this been happening? Has it happened with anybody else? What have you tried so far? What haven't you tried? You're not passing judgment here, you're just establishing the situation. The next step after determining what is to find out if, and that's if advice is wanted. Too often this gets overlooked. You're basically going to say to me simply, Ed, are you looking for my advice, or did you just come here to vent? If I say, no, thank you, I'm just here to vent, you're going to go down here and you're going to stop. Advice that isn't wanted is not advice. It's a management directive. You're free to give me a management directive if you want, but if every time I come to you with a request for advice, you tell me what to do, I'm going to stop coming to you. So ask the question. Now there's a good chance I'm going to say yes. Now that you understand the situation, I'd like to know what you think. In that case, you're going to move to the next step, which is to set the stage. Set the stage means it's not time to give the advice yet. First, you're going to lay some foundation. Here's how you do that. You're going to say to me, Ed, I want to reiterate that you've asked for my advice. In giving you my advice, I'm going to tell you 2 different kinds of things. Things I see, what I notice about your situation, and things I would do if I were you, perhaps. But I want you to know, you have my permission to ignore the advice. That's because the responsibility is yours. You're the person with the situation. I'm just giving you ideas. So you can see what happens there, 4 steps. First, reiterate the request. Second, define see and do. Third, give permission to ignore. And fourth, define the responsibility. Then, and only then, are you ready for the last step, which is actually to give the advice. Now obviously, I can't tell you what advice to give at the whiteboard, but I can give you a couple of ideas. First of all, you can give advice using models. You can say, you know what, Ed? In the last management journal I read about a tool for handling an employee who's habitually late. That's a model that might help you. The second thing you can use in giving advice is your experience. You could say to me, you know what, Ed? This happened to me a few years ago, and here's what I did. Now, if you can combine models with experience, that may give very powerful advice. You might say to me, well, Ed, the last time this happened to me, here's the tool I used. But whatever you do here, whatever you give as your advice, most important is that you lay the foundation correctly. First, determine what's going on in the situation. Then, determine if advice is actually wanted. And then, set the stage for the advice. That way, by the time you actually give the advice, you'll be more likely to give advice that's heeded and respected, and less likely to have your advice taken out of context later.